Welcome to Shadowproof. Evidence first, noise last.
Today we will talk about Amy. Amy is the name of a digital book series from 1986, authored by Enrique Barrios, a famous Chilean novelist. The Child of the Stars. The Child of the Stars. Tien Kai Dao 3. LL Find It. Moreover, the book directly tells the reader why such a book exists. It's because an alien asked this child to write down what the alien told him. That's book like this. So this is actually an encyclopedia of universal truths disguised as a children. That's about a 10-year-old Chilean girl who goes to her grandmother. Her grandmother's house is by the sea, so every day the girl goes to the beach to play. One evening, she sees a red light falling from the horizon into the sea without making any sound. Just as she wonders what it is, she sees someone swimming from where it fell. At first, she thought it was a plane crash and a pilot swimming over. But when he came ashore, she discovered it was a child. This child was a bit younger than her, wearing very strange clothes. After coming ashore, the two children talked for a while since they were both kids. The child who just swam ashore said, "Actually, I'm an alien." S title: Amy ISN. Let's call you Amy. Why? In Spanish, amigo means friend, and we take the first two letters, Amy. And this boy Amy didn't. He said, "Do you believe there are aliens in this world?" Then Perot said, "Are you an alien? If I say yes, would you be scared?" When he heard he was an alien, Perot didn't really believe it. An alien? His gestures, appearance, and speech are all like an Earth person. Even though Amy fell from the sky and Perot saw him swim over, though a bit strange, he still didn't believe it in his heart. Until Amy illustrated mind reading, meaning whatever Perot thought, this alien knew. Only then did Perot believe that this boy might really be an alien. Later, Amy also pulled out some small devices that looked very advanced, never seen before, unlike anything on Earth. For example, a small TV that could see everything happening anywhere on Earth. It's like having an eye. Wherever you want it to go, it sees that place. And the following content is about the various magical things Amy tells Perot about the universe. Amy said, "Actually, on countless planets in the universe, there are aliens living. In our galaxy alone, there are millions of civilizations." Amy said, "What do aliens actually look like on Earth? They also have heads, bodies, hands, and legs, but the number of arms and legs may differ. And on the planet where Amy lives, everyone looks like children. He looks like this that is actually very old, having lived for hundreds of years. That's not a child, he." And after knowing Amy is an alien, Barrow was a bit scared at first and asked a question. He asked Amy, "Are you a bad person?" Barrow said, "I've grown up watching movies and TV shows where aliens are always bad, coming to invade Earth. But I think, surely you have good people too." Barrow hoped this Amy is a good person. Read definitely better than you because you. Barrow then said, "The universe is so big. You say there are many civilizations, so how can there not be one or two bad? And why not?" He said, "Any evil civilization that can." These planets develop it. So in the process of civilization development, destructive weapons must appear first, then space exploration, and then spaceships that can travel at light speed. LL fight internally can.
Therefore, no evil civilization can develop further. A high-level civilization or one that can come to Earth,
So there won't be any other evil civilizations attacking Earth, please rest assured.
T convinced and said, I don't. Read talking about doesn't.
Everything in the universe is interconnected. Whatever happens is inevitable. There's no such thing as chance.
The reason you think some things happen by chance is that you don't know the internal relationships that exist. That's a kind of luck, a kind of chance, but actually, it.
So why would there be evil civilizations in this universe? Actually, any civilization when first born is not inherently evil. But in the process of civilization development, two things are extremely important. One is called science and technology, the other is called love.
This love is the level of consciousness.
If an imbalance arises between the development of science and technology and the development of consciousness, this civilization, if scientific technology develops too fast and consciousness can't keep up, a bad person with great power emerges, and this civilization will be destroyed. And conversely, if this place continuously develops love, but scientific technology is not developed, then this civilization, though not destroyed, cannot develop further.
The best is for both to develop in balance.
And if both also rise high, then this civilization grows. Amy said, those civilizations are extremely lowly, very low. For example, like among the animals on Earth killing each other, they have no intelligence.
Those with intelligence should not kill each other.
But if they have intelligence and still kill each other, then they will be destroyed. And Peronin asked, so we Earth people are not the worst in the galaxy, are we? Amy said, in the galaxy, Earth ranks not the worst or second worst.
Not necessarily the worst, but at least second from the bottom.
And then Amy said, on your Earth, the relationship between science and love is currently slowly leaning towards science. Millions of civilizations like Earth have destroyed themselves for this very reason, and that Earth is currently in a sensitive and dangerous moment. That is also the reason I am here. And then Peronin said, let's quickly contact the presidents of countries if they keep fighting.
Amy said no, I cannot do that for 4 reasons.
First, if I appear before the public, many people might be terrified.
Many might wonder, doesn't Amy look like a normal child? How could that scare people? The problem is when this alien lets people know, confirms it, it will shock many people.
Not shocked because their appearance is scary, but shocked to know that such highly intelligent beings exist.
The second reason is for their own safety. Humans are still very evil. If we appear, we are not evil, we will not attack you. What if you attack us first? Third, even if we appear, whether those leaders believe or not is a problem.
Even if they believe, they might not necessarily lay down their weapons.
So we cannot directly intervene, only support and guide indirectly. This is our work.
Of course, the fourth and most important reason is that if we interfere with your civilization, it violates the laws of the universe. That law is that developed civilizations must not interfere with the development process of less advanced worlds. This non-interference law is manifested in that aliens do not openly appear before humans, although their spaceships have been patrolling Earth's skies for a long time. But after the first atomic bomb exploded, they officially revealed themselves. That is to remind humanity not to be too arrogant, thinking they're the only intelligent, because there are civilizations far surpassing humanity many times over. Why are aliens so concerned about atomic bombs? Amy said that the entire universe is a living body, and among all things, there is a mutual relationship. Therefore, although they cannot interfere, they also cannot ignore any scientific invention appearing on a planet not highly developed. Because advanced energy sources like atomic nuclei, if controlled by evil hands, could easily disrupt the balance of the galaxy. And extraterrestrial civilizations would also be affected.
They observe the human situation not only to help themselves but also to help other parts of the universe.
Currently, aliens are also doing this. Amy said, aliens have repeatedly hinted at their existence to humans. For example, when humans conduct nuclear tests, many UFOs appear at the nuclear test sites. In fact, the IBO incident in Mexico and the Flight 1628 incident were also mentioned. IBO often appears near nuclear facilities. Even when Japan suffered a nuclear bombing, many UFOs appeared.
Amy said, this is a kind of hint to you, telling you that you are not the only intelligent beings in the universe. Our existence is also there. This is the maximum limit we can do. Of course, besides this visible hint, we will send brainwave signals to a portion of Earth people to convey our information.
However, not everyone can receive these brainwaves. Only those with very high sensitivity can receive them.
But after receiving, reactions are not the same. Some will think they dreamed. Some will think it's a god speaking to them because they have religious thoughts. They will interpret it in their religious direction. Some will feel this is the words of aliens. But when they recount it, it might not have much influence.
What we need to do is continuously send out such information. Try our best to let as many people as possible receive it.
And how you understand it is up to you.
Amy said, before humans become a high-level civilization, they will not appear before us. Only when they determine we are not destructive, we pose no threat, will they appear before us. That means only after our spiritual level has been raised to a certain dimension can we be allowed to know their existence.
Amy already appeared before Kuro? Regarding this, Kuro also asked Amy, ISN.
Amy said, my appearing before you has a special reason, a special purpose. Actually, it's precisely for you to write this book. To use this book to tell humanity the truth about the universe. And this kind of one-on-one meeting between me and you doesn't count as interference. Interference must be public to be heard. Amy presented the truth of the universe to Kuro, telling him to write a book. However, this book must be written as a children's book.
Why?
He said if a child writes such content, no one will doubt it. But if an adult writes it, some people will think there's something wrong with their head. Some will think they are a fraud, that it must have some ulterior motive. But if a child writes it, this problem doesn't exist.
So it must definitely be written as a children's book. He said this is part of the plan to save Earth.
After saying these words, it was already dark. Amy then said, let me take you home. When they reached Perot's doorstep, they encountered 2 police officers.
The 2 police officers looked
and said, hey, why are you kids wandering around so late? And then Amy said to the 2 officers, we were discussing the destruction of Earth. So the police said, well, very good. Your clothes are nice. Where did you get them? Amy said, I came from another planet.
The police said, you came from Mars, huh? Amy said not Mars, from another planet. And then the police said, so where's your flying saucer? He said, I left it in the ocean.
The police said, alright, then hurry home, don't wander outside anymore. Kuro said, listening to their conversation, I was scared to death, because every word he said was true. Afterwards, Amy hypnotized these 2 police officers, simultaneously erased their memories, and then took his friend home. Later, Kuro also asked Amy, this hypnosis is really powerful.
They always been hypnotized, didn't?
But he didn't say what was hypnotizing me. And after returning home, it was time for Kuro to go to sleep. But it was said that Amy would go to other places too, and also needed to visit other planets.
Kuro then said, could I go with you? Amy said, well, alright, come with me. And so he took him onto the spaceship and flew away.
Amy showed Kuro the red light on the control panel. Said that only when the light is on can people outside see the spaceship. And when the light is off, the flying saucer becomes invisible. The flying saucer can easily appear and disappear, just like a wheel's axle. When a wheel spins very fast, the spokes almost become transparent and invisible. To make the spaceship invisible, you just need to make its physical molecules move very fast. The principle of invisibility. However, the timing of the flying saucer appearing or hiding depends on instructions from the Space Control Center. First, Amy took Kuro to various places around the world, like Africa, Easter Island, the Himalayas, traveling all around. And then suddenly Amy received a command from above, telling him to fly to this place, and his spaceship flew there in an instant.
Let me explain a bit here, how this spaceship of his flies. Because Kuro asked him, can this spaceship of yours really fly at the speed of light?
Amy said, if we flew at light speed, it would be too slow. It would take 2 years just to leave the solar system. How is that acceptable? Actually, we travel instantaneously, determine coordinates and move there instantly. Traveling within the galaxy takes about an hour and a half. Traveling between galaxies takes a few hours, but it's basically fixed.
S-head, there.
And so Amy controlled the spaceship, drew a huge triangle in front of the hunter's head, and then emitted a burst of strong light.
Kuro asked, what are you doing? He said, I'm making this person remember me. Why does he need to remember you? Amy said, this is my mission. I had to do what is notified by the superiors.
This hunter has been carefully selected, hoping he can come forward as a witness about UFOs. If this is true, then it's very likely the reason why many spaceships have been photographed by people.
That is, intentionally coming to show off, to let you know of our existence, but who gets to see it is notified by the Space Control Center.
This time the target is a hunter in Alaska, and then Amy took out a machine called an evolution index meter to measure this hunter. After measuring, he said, "This hunter's evolution index is very high, 750. Kuro asked, "What is this?"
He said, "This is the human evolution index. The higher the evolution index, the higher the level." "That's yours?" Amy said it.
He said actually, some people on Earth, like some doctors or some enlightened monks, have evolution indices higher than his. The human evolution index is usually between 300 and 800. Many people have already reached 800.
race.
Animals usually have very low indices. For example, bears are about 200, fish are about 50. In the universe, there is a fairly high number of people on the sun, over 10,000. That is to say, it's common for people to live on the sun, but these individuals have extremely high evolutionary. After the evolutionary index becomes high, the body emits light until it shines like the sun. And this race does not interact with the people on the sun, and in fact, they cannot even go to the sun. Amy said that there are some highly civilized places, like levels 3000 or 4000, that we're even less able to go there. We can only travel between dimensions close to our own. People in high dimensions will glow all over their bodies. We also have light, but it is relatively weak. That means the higher the evolutionary index, the brighter the person. And to increase this index, one must have both high intelligence and high love. Kuro said, "My uncle is an atomic physicist researching laser weapons. He is very smart and someone I greatly admire." "How many points can he have?" Amy said, "If he researches weapons, his points basically cannot be high."
Even if he might be very intelligent, since he researches weapons, things that lead to destruction, his love is certainly very low. S concepts are a bit misguided. You always think scientists are good, scientists are to be worshipped, but you shouldn't.
But actually, that's a mistake. Among scientists, there are good and bad people. Bad scientists should not be objects of your admiration. Kuro also asked Amy how many points he must have. Amy didn't tell him, but hinted that his points are probably not low.
So why not tell him? Because it cannot be told. If you know your points are very high, you will become arrogant. I'm too great, I.
The spaceship continued moving, and soon they arrived in Tokyo. On the big streets, crowds of people were coming and going. By the roadside, the couple noticed the flying object and quickly knelt down to pray. They signaled that they wanted to board the spaceship. Amy said, "Earth people should not worship aliens but should worship the spirit. If aliens accept their mistaken beliefs and take the place of gods, the consequences will be
Amy said, "Worshipping any being in the universe as God is a mistake. It's like confusing the tree with its fruit. God teach people to love, why doesn't?"
Amy replied, "It's not that God is not merciful, but in fact, God arranges destiny for each person. Each individual must learn to live with love through their own destiny." Amy also used himself as an example. He said, "In previous lives, I was once a predator and eventually died by being killed by another predator. Then I became a human, at a low evolutionary level. I killed and was killed. I was cruel and also treated cruelly. I went through many lives, gradually learning to live more gently and kindly. That is a process of sublimation that others cannot interfere with, nor could they intervene." And then, Amy took Pedro to a distant planet called Ophir. The inhabitants of this planet come from ancient Earth. They share the same origins and lineage as us.
Amy said, nearly 10,000 years ago, Earth had a very advanced civilization, living mainly on one continent. Other places were like remote areas. Most cities were on one landmass. Their civilization had a level of science and technology higher than our current one. But because science developed too quickly, while mental development was too slow, their mental level was about 100 points lower than current humans. That is, their level of love was quite low, making it an extremely cruel center. As a result, a brutal civil war occurred. Before the destruction, some people realized that this place might soon be destroyed and fled to other continents, to remote areas. These people are the ancestors of our current humans.
and some people were rescued by Amy and others. At that time, this civilization had many people with over 700 points. They saved those with over 700 points, bringing them to live on the planet Ophir. So we Earth humans and they share the same ancestors and origins. Amy said that if Earth is truly destroyed later, we will return to save Earth once more, saving those with 700 points or more. So what kind of person can reach 700 points?
Amy said those are people who always think selflessly and purely for others. Everything they do stems from love, and when they come to planet Ophir, they still cannot land because Puro has bacteria and could infect this planet.
The people of this planet have no diseases. If Puro comes and infects them, they could be wiped out. Amy is not afraid because Amy has protective gear.
On planet Ophir, there are plants of many colors, like green, orange, dark brown, and the lakes are sky blue.
Puro said the whole planet Ophir feels like a Japanese-style garden. But in this garden, there are many pyramids. They really resemble the pyramids on Earth, but are incredibly beautiful.
And the people of planet Ophir, though sharing the same origins and ancestors as us, are all giants. They say our ancestors were actually giants, but due to our current living environment, with extremely dense populations and a highly compressed environment, our bodies are compressed,
becoming smaller. If we return to nature, our bodies will gradually grow larger, returning to about twice our current height. People on planet Ophir have an average height of about 3 meters, bronze skin, very broad shoulders, narrow hips, wearing long white round robes with colorful belts.
In fact, they are the descendants of ancient peoples like the ancient Egyptians, Mayans, Incas, Greeks, and Celts. And these people were actually part of the ancient Atlantis civilization.
The continent we just mentioned is actually the Atlantis civilization. He said, although as we develop, people become more concentrated in cities, humans do not inherently crave cities or concrete and steel.
So wealthy people in cities also build their own private gardens. What they crave is nature. This is the correct direction, not craving cities. Although we now feel that living conditions in cities are better, actually not, it's the opposite. Living in nature is a better living environment.
The people on this planet Ophir all live in places like forests, amidst nature. So what do the people on planet Ophir do daily? They study, enjoy, and work.
But working is not to earn money but to serve others, finding personal happiness through serving the community. For example, if some people need to learn something, you can teach them, as a form of exchange. It's not about serving as a subordinate, but helping others. They live an idyllic life with no national borders, no police, and no concerns about money.
The food they eat and the items they eat are produced for them by supercomputers. Those pyramids are like factories. They can go there to get what they need. All societal conveniences are for everyone to enjoy together, including spaceships.
That's left there for others to use. And there are many concepts on Earth that they don. Their sole learning goal is to improve themselves, to surpass themselves, not to compare with others. Comparison is meaningless. Tea eat animal meat, animals don. Amy said that after human minds are elevated,
they gradually become like children, living in the states of early childhood. So many playgrounds are needed. Everyone happily plays every day, carefree. Additionally, they have many diverse recreational activities like watching performances and grand feasts. So what is the boundary between low-level civilization and high-level civilization? Actually, this book does not distinguish between low-level or high-level civilization, but rather calls them blossom civilization and unblossomed civilization. We belong to the so-called unblossomed civilization is a civilization that has not met 3 conditions. These 3 conditions are: first, understanding the fundamental laws of the universe; second, striving towards the goal of unifying the world; third, using the laws of the universe as the standard for building organizations. It is mandatory to achieve these 3 points to become a blossomed civilization. If it does not blossom, there are 2 outcomes. Either it never develops further, or it will be destroyed. What are the fundamental laws of the universe? Actually, there is only one word, which is love. Although this word is very simple, it is extremely profound and difficult to fully understand. Amy wanted to explain to Pedro what love is, but no matter how much he explained, Pedro still did not. He said that love is essentially a type of energy that fills the universe. It is the fundamental element that constitutes all things. That is, everything in the world is made of love.
We are made of love. Stones are also made of love. Everything we think of is composed of love. Light is love. Everything is formed by love. So why are there evil people? It is because they do not feel love. And this book also asks, why do we live on this earth? What is the meaning of our life and existence? Amy said that the meaning of life is to feel this love in life. Only by feeling love and enhancing our spiritual strength can we get closer to love. This is the sole purpose of life.
Love is like the creative light in the universe. It continuously radiates this energy. As we improve our level, we continuously get closer to Him. The higher our level, the closer we get to Him. Where is it? It is not in a fixed place. It is everywhere. Your soul needs to get closer to Him. This is the purpose of your existence.
So that means love is also everywhere around us. Why don't we feel love? Because these things are too obvious to us. For example, every stone under our feet, you see it and don't feel particularly happy, right? Because we see it too often. On the contrary, if you see a colorful stone, you would really like it, right? Even though both are stones, this colorful stone is rare to you, so you would love it.
Or for example, there's a blind person who has never seen anything since birth, and one day he suddenly gains sight.
Do you think you would love everything in this world? The things you see every day, but for the blind person, this is the first time he sees them. That's the feeling.
Because our minds are already occupied by other things. For example, occupied by things like benefits, fame, academic achievements. There is no time to pay attention to the beautiful things around us anymore.
If you can sincerely observe them carefully, love them, and feel their beauty, then your life will be extremely wonderful. People at a high level consider any event as a good thing and accept it. They accept any ordinary event as a source of happiness.
Those who can recognize the small joys in life will be happy. That is the principle. Thus, being able to love and feel love is an extremely special ability, and also the most important ability. The second most important ability of humans is consciousness, meaning you can feel the things around you. This is also very important.
The third most important ability is reflection, which refers to wisdom. And this story basically ends here. Amy took Pedro back to Earth. After returning to Earth, Amy left, saying that we will meet again in the future.
After Amy left, Pedro discovered that he had changed. He found every stone and grass under his feet to be so beautiful.
Do you know if this is the author? I hope the author's beautiful wish, a world without war and without suffering, may truly come to pass. You can also watch other videos from this channel.
If the proof convinced you, subscribe and open the next case.